Hi guys, I'm going to teach you how to use capital letters today. It's primarily meant for 3rd, 4th, and 5th grades. However, this video can be a review for any age. I'm going to go over the most common rules for using capital letters. However, I will not go over all of them, just the most common you see in elementary school. So let's get started. Rule number 1, capital letters always begin a sentence. This is probably the very first rule we learn when we're kids. For example, my cat ran up the tree. The very first word, my, needs a capital letter for the letter M, so we capitalize that. Also, the area of the living room is 88 square feet. The capital T starts the sentence for the word the, right there. Whether it's a name or a word, it doesn't matter. Names always get capitalized, which we'll talk about in a moment. But in this case, a name starts the sentence. So Rachel had pancakes for breakfast. Either way, Rachel would have been capitalized because it's a specific person, but because it started the sentence, it obviously gets a capital letter here. Because the plane was broken, our flight was delayed. Once again, we get a capital B. Let's go on to rule number 2. Always capitalize the names of people. For example, please send Ben Watson to my office. We capitalize the first letter in the first name and the first letter in the last name. So Ben Watson, a capital B and a capital W. There's a few more rules about names, and I'm going to go over those right now. Is anytime you have a person's title for a specific person, you need to capitalize the first letter of that title as well as the name. So if you met with Dr. Watts yesterday, Dr. and Watts both need to start with a capital letter. Same thing as if you have to go see Officer Higgins. The O in officer and the H in Higgins gets capitalized. For name replacement, anytime you are replacing a person's name with the title, that gets capitalized as well. Excuse me, Judge, said the lawyer. Judge gets capitalized, but you may be asking yourself, well, why doesn't lawyer get capitalized? Isn't that name replacement? Well, the difference here is we just said the lawyer. We're not talking about a specific name replacement here. We're just saying a random lawyer. Hi, doctor, said Tim. I don't feel well. Once again, he could have been talking to Dr. Jones, but instead he just said doctor. He shortened it for himself. It's a form of name replacement, so the capital D starts the word doctor. There are exceptions, like I was just talking about with the word lawyer. Anytime we're not using it as name replacement, we're just labeling a person. Like the police officer asked me to slow down, it does not need to get a capital letter. And another example of this, which is not written here, would be, I went to visit the doctor yesterday. Because I'm not talking about a specific doctor, and I'm not using it as name replacement, it does not need a capital D. The last part about names is names of groups of people. So anytime we're talking about a specific group of people, whether it be people from a region, a country, or a state, or even religions, anytime we talk about a specific group of people, they also get a capital letter. You can see the example at the bottom. Because they're close to the equator, Floridians are used to warm weather. Rule number 3. Capitalize the names of geographic places. This comes in many forms, which is why you see so many examples, but I'll try to break it down for you. Streets always get capitalized, because it's a specific street. So I live on Mulberry Street, the M and the S both get capitalized. If I said I'm going to visit somebody on the next street, then street would not get capitalized because it's not a specific name. Cities, towns, and counties always get capitalized. I teach in Summit, which is in Union County. The S in Summit and the U and the C also get capitalized. States and provinces get capitalized as well. Colin moved from Ontario, Canada to New Jersey. Regions get capitalized. New Jersey is located in the Northeast. It's a specific part of the country, so it gets capitalized. Countries always get capitalized. I went to Jamaica on vacation. Specific landforms get capitalized. Now, please note the word specific right here. That's very important when you're talking about landforms, and here's why. If I used a sentence like, I love to ski down mountains, I'm not talking about a specific mountain. So it does not get capitalized. However, if I use a sentence, the boat chugged along the Danube River, Danube and river would both get capitalized because I'm talking about a specific landform. Specific buildings get capitalized too. So there's a big difference between the Empire State Building versus just a brand new stadium. I'm not talking about a specific stadium and actually naming the stadium, so here it would not get capitalized. Whereas I'm talking about a specific building, so it does get capitalized. Empire State Building, it's all part of the actual name. Now if I went to the new MetLife Stadium, then MetLife Stadium, the M and the S would get capitalized. It all depends on whether or not you're using the specific name. Let's go on to rule number 4, capitalized titles. This one can get tricky because not all words in a title get capitalized. Capitalized titles would be, an example of this would be the book The Lorax is my favorite. The and Lorax are part of the title, so they get capitalized. Or the movie Beauty and the Beast. Now here's an example of what I was talking about. Anytime you have a non-essential word, such as in, on, as, the, of, a, or any words like that, they don't need to be capitalized. And a perfect example of this is the cat in the hat. Now, you may be asking yourself, well, why did the get capitalized here? Anytime one of those non-essential words start the title, for example, the Lorax or the cat in the hat, that time we do capitalize the. But if you notice in the very same title, the right here does not get capitalized. A little tricky. Just if you get confused, look at some samples of actual books and look at their titles. That might be able to help you out. Now, rule number 5, capitalize the first letter of a quotation. So Wally said, "Hello, my name is Wally." Because the word hello is the very first word in the quotation, we capitalize it with the letter H. Walt Disney said it best, "We don't make movies to make money, we make money to make more movies." The capital W starts this quote. Any exception you have is when it's not a specific quotation of what somebody said. So sometimes you use quotations in other forms. For example, Bertha felt like a big fish in a little pond. Here, it's a saying. So this person used quotations around this saying, but it's not what somebody specifically said, so I did not need to capitalize the B. Or the term fresh can be slang for hip or cool. Once again, I'm just putting quotations around the word I'm referring to, so it does not need to get capitalized. Rule number 6, calendar events or need to be capitalized. Days and months like Tuesday and December. Any specific day or any specific month needs to be capitalized. Any specific holiday like Yom Kippur, the Y and the K get capitalized. Or Independence Day, the letter I and the letter D. And probably the most tricky part, a part that a lot of people forget, is a specific era gets capitalized as well. Here's an example. The assembly line came about during the Industrial Revolution. Letter I and the letter R, because it's a specific era, gets capitalized. Let's go on to the next rule, rule number 7. Specific brands need to be capitalized. For example, did you hear about the new shoe Nike came out with? Nike is a name of a specific company, so it gets capitalized. American Idol is sponsored by Coca-Cola. Once again, we're talking about a specific company, so it does get capitalized. Rule number 8, be sure to capitalize letter salutations. What that means is anytime you write a letter, the opening, which is like dear so-and-so, or sincerely your name, they need to be capitalized. So the D in Dear Emma, and the sincerely has the letter S capitalized. And finally, the last rule we're going to talk about is the pronoun I. I is a subject. Anytime you refer to I, which is yourself, in a sentence, you are the subject of the sentence, so that needs to be capitalized. However, me and my do not need to be capitalized because you are not the subject when you use me or my in a sentence. You're either the object or the possessive. For example, no matter how many times I fail, I will keep trying. The person is talking about himself, therefore he is the subject. However, if you said, music is very important to me would be the object, music would be the subject. And possessive, that is my music. Once again, my is possessive. You're showing that something belongs to you. Therefore, it does not need to be capitalized. The letter I gets capitalized, but me and my does not. There are more capital letter rules that you should check out on your own time, but those are the most frequent ones that we're going to be using in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. You do want to make sure you do those right. So best of luck, and if you need to, feel free to watch a video again or look up any other rules online. Have a great day. Bye-bye.